Hello, hello all. Oh man, of course they kicked me out. Ah, yeah. How is everyone? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It is Thursday. You're a day closer to the weekend. Weekends are awesome. I mean, we can all agree that weekends are awesome, right? There's no bone of contention there about that. Welcome to another 20 minutes or so of catching up. So as always, I don't. As always, I normally I have a loose idea of a show, and sometimes I don't. Today's one of those sometimes I don't days, so we're just gonna kind of gonna because what I was doing was playing the guitar all day, which was pretty good, and I wasn't thinking about this show. So now, excuse me, I feel like I'm sort of falling back into a guitar mode, which is good, right? Uh, shall I show you what I was trying to learn? Excuse me. I got a little for shizzle net going on in my throatal area. Um, I just had dinner. Okay, so there's a vaccine mandate going on. Mandate means you must, which is fine. Excuse me. We're supposed to be over here, right? Okay. I'm gonna have to reconfigure this whole kajigger. California is still on fire. All right, look. Here's the problem. Virginia man who posted he was feeling cute during Capitol riots pleads guilty. None of these guys are going to get any time. And then in 10 years, you will forget who they were. Like all those soldiers in that Abu Ghraib thing that was all over the place like 15 years ago or whatever. This will just be the cycle. The problem remains, what are you going to do to fix all the problems? Oh, boy. Taliban, we're covering that still. There's not some days there's not a lot going on. We ended this show yesterday because a storm rolled in out of nowhere, and then it went krazackle boom, and those kind of like electrical interferences where it resets your microwave and you have to rethrow the breaker. That's what it did in half the house, and I was like, oh. And meanwhile, I'm looking around here, and this monitor, which is what I'm looking at. Here's the camera, high camera. Here's the monitor, which is why I'm always looking at the the monitor, and the monitor went out. So I was like, oh, am I still even? And then this one was on, and then I reconfigured some stuff, and then the monitor image came uh, back on. Oh man, that thing is ginormous. Look at that thing. Ugh, ugh. I may have to give you the coin look and just like do the whole show like this in profile because that's ridiculous. Oh, should we cut the song? We should probably cut the song. We were a little late today, so we can tell how late we were because right now it's 37 past the hour, and we've been streaming for 5 minutes going now. So that means we were 2 minutes late, about 2 minutes late. Uh, you know, it's not. We're not gonna. We don't. We try not to be late. Is what we do here. Man, I gotta tell you, I ate something, and it feel like it's sitting right on the back of my throat, man, and I can't dislodge it. So I should eat something else to hopefully catch it and knock it over. I don't know what's going on with me recently. Wow, I think I've hit an age where nothing is. No, I sort of lost. I sort of lost interest in sports. I used to love football and really like baseball. Now I'm just kind of like, man. So in removing myself from it, I don't know who's playing anymore. I don't know who the young talent is, and I kind of don't care. Uh, excuse me. And I think that's the growth of it, right? I'm pretty sure um, some people love soap operas, right? Um, yeah, I forgot my train of thought. I mean, this thing just threw me off. I should read you. Watch Kelly Clarkson's son Five hilariously interrupt serenade for a bathroom break. So you got your cute kid on TV, and you didn't even make sure that he was good to go on TV because he had to pay. I just, but everything is cute and adorable, and ugh, just tired of all of it. What we need is let's put this here. What we need is things solved. Less who's dating who and who's marrying who and who's divorcing who. We need actual things solved. Um, yeah, so let's get on with the shoe. Uh, and when we don't have a shoe, you know what we do, right? We check the news. And it's all boring. There really is no news today. I mean, there's still California wildfires. I never anticipated a day so not devoid of news. But I mean, I think we've hit, and see, I think we've hit a, oh my gosh. We're gonna look at this story because this is more Me Too bullshit. Not Me Too is bullshit, but just kind of like the shit men doing the fucking office, right? And Rod through look, here he is in the White House press room with the giant White House sign behind him, and now he's scandal plagued because he was feeding on women in the workplace. News Corp. There you go. Only two pictures. Nice. All right. Fox News correspondent Ed Henry got two first names in the James Brady press room at the White House in Washington, April 2013. Fox News, I'm sorry, Fox News and former anchor Ed Henry must face a lawsuit accusing Henry of promising career advancement to coerce an employee into a sometimes violent sexual relationship, including rape, and an accusation of networks of allowing a hostile work environment. A U.S. judge ruled on Thursday. Look, you shouldn't be able to sue over rape. If you're including rape, you should get the cops involved. But it's so sinister. I don't like the fact that people can claim it 30 years later or whatever. I just think it's so sinister. And we know that they keep letting people out of jail after 30 years who turned out they didn't do it, right? So I mean, it's just me personally. I mean, that's my stand. I'm just kind of like, I'm not blaming anybody and I'm not saying did or didn't happen. I want to make sure I'm making that clear, but I just wish somebody really had put it in a police report when it happened. Judge ruled on Thursday. U.S. District Judge Ronnie Abrahams in Manhattan said that former associate producer Jennifer Eckhart could try to show Henry engaged in sex trafficking. Everything is sex trafficking now. And victims shamed her by posting what he claimed were nude photos of Eckhart in a court document. So he put her nude photos in a court document. Abrahams and Eckhart could also try to prove Fox News knew or should have known about Henry's harassing behavior, but not conduct a related hold it, behavior, but not conduct related to alleged sex trafficking or photos. What the fuck is sex trafficking? Seriously, let's look up sex trafficking because some of this, it seems like everything is sex trafficking now. Suspect in Florida, quadruple homicide. First believed he was saving sex traffickers. Quadruple homicide. Africa Bambaataa sued for sex abuse, sex trafficking. Okay. From 1991 to 1995. Before the term sex trafficking was a thing, let's look up sex trafficking. It's human trafficking for the purpose of sexual exploitation. That is a bro. Okay, okay. Pimps and prostitutes are sex traffickers. Okay. Simple enough. Sexual slave, which considered a form of modern slave. A victim is forced in one of a variety of ways. Situation of dependency on their trafficker. Dependency on their trafficker, and then used by the trafficker to perform sexual service. The sex trafficking crimes can involve acquisition, transportation, and exploitation. Okay. This includes child, domestic minor, right? Or other kinds of commercial sexual exploitation of children or prostitutes. Children and prostitutes. So yeah, so here's the thing. You being a pimp is sexploitation of a prostitute, which means what used to be pandering and would get you 2 years is now sex trafficking and can get you 15 to 20. Okay. I mean, this is why you get all these people, pimps, control trafficking. In a pimp control trafficking, the victim is controlled by a single trafficker, some called the pimp. The victim can be controlled by the traffickers physically, psychologically, or emotionally to obtain control of the victim. Trafficking will be used, hotel brand by him. Among a number of leading global chains accused of profiting from sex trafficking. Yeah, people go to hotels. Gang trafficking, all right. Familial trafficking, cyber sex trafficking, forced marriage. I gotta tell you, man, this whole thing of trafficking is wiggy as fuck. They've written it in such a way that everything is trafficking. I mean, I'm not one for prostitutes or anything, but everything is trafficking now. Wanted 60,000 girls to take the place of 60,000 white slaves who will die this year. And you know what that means. Meanwhile, like I said, it's like the whole Me Too thing in Hollywood, where there's all throughout human history. Let's put this back at the top. There's been sexual economics. We can even look up the term. Right? People would get married to keep kingdoms together. People would sleep with each other. For people would not kingdoms. Good Lord. I'm thinking about kingdoms. What did I say? Sexual economics. Theory versus feminist theory. This is a lot to get into. We look up sexual economics because people sleep with each other for a myriad of reasons, not just because they're horny. Some people sleep with people at work for advancement. Some people date at work. You can't automatically make that a trafficking thing and then send them to jail for 30 years. Right? I mean, I get you can't get rid of prostitution. So you're gonna super criminalize it and only send them into jail because the women are always victims. And then in 30 years, you're gonna rescind it. We just need to grow the fuck up, is what we need to do. All LA Unified 12 and older must be fully vaccinated by January. Okay, here's the thing. You have your rights, but we control the system. Good Lord, where can I get this thing? There you go. So, R. Kelly's. He starved me for days. U.S. Congress Republican attack Biden's vaccination. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I mean, so Jennifer, let's look up Jennifer Eckhart. Yep. Here you go. You run around. I mean, I don't want to say run around, but come on, like this cannot be the work environment. Who do we have uh federally to look into it? Because it's apparently happening every place, right? And they should really look into it. And if companies or people get in trouble for this, right? Excuse me. But we will see. We haven't checked everything. When's sunset?
Sunset will be at 7:20 p.m. today.
Okay. This was charge ring is ridiculous. Man, okay, there you go. Sometime it just will not charge. I used to love sports. Giants injury report. I kind of don't care. AI can now write its own computer code. That's good news for humans. Why is that good news for humans? It will run away from you. And I'm not talking about the paranoid stuff like the AI overturning mankind like in the Terminus. I'm just thinking it'll write something that you can't even figure out when you need to figure it out. Oy, oy. Everybody's so modern. I don't know how good that is for us, quite frankly. Oh, I'm beginning to think that if the society had to go without, could it? Would it survive? And I don't know if it would. I think people are perpetually at war with the common day every sense things. This virus thing is one of them, right? We all should agree to do one of three things. We don't need to wear a mask. We're hardy Americans. We'll take our losses. Or we should all wear a mask and protect everybody, right? It shouldn't be perpetually 50-50 against everything. I mean, what do we as Americans fucking stand for? Just perpetual war amongst ourselves? Oh, so yeah. Excuse me. Whew. Got a little choking happening here. Uh, we don't really have a show, and that is sad. Hold on. Here's the thing. Here's one of the things. The more I look out these windows nightly as I speak to you guys, and we watch the weather roll in, the more I really want to take a nice long walk, like hike, um, under the clear blue sky. Right? I mean, I've long said on this thing that a lot of the problem is like decompressing. You do decompress. You need to get away from all the bad news on TV or the murder stuff in the show that you watch, even all the comics superhero violence, right? The occult horror stuff, and get back to like an even palette. Like think about like if I'm feeding you something, I'm like, all right now, okay, how did that taste? All right now, we want to clean your palate. So what am I going to give you? I'm going to give you some nutrition. I'm going to give you like maybe uh, bread and like a little water. Okay, now your palate is clean. Now you taste this same steak with a different seasoning. Then you can be like, oh, this is different than that. I get it, right? It's cleaning your palate. I think you have to do that with your soul, right? Even if you watch that stuff, you better add in more fucking family walks or painting or whatever. And I don't mean sitting down and writing a story about what you just watched. Then you're really meditating on like all this negative shit. I'm amazed at people who like all this like horrible stuff, these news murders things, and then will watch the same thing on the news. Like they'll watch Law and Order or these how somebody murdered somebody shows on like Lifetime or something, right? Women who lose it, men who kill their wives, all this sick shit. People the FBI are looking for because they killed all these people. They watch all that, and then they'll cut their nightly TV news on. And then they're shocked by what they see, and I'm like, if you really was opposed to it, would you bother watching it as entertainment? Does that make any sense to anybody? Or am I just loopy? I mean, I've long since gotten to a place where I can't deal with all the violence for the sake of violence, right? Um, I get violence in a good story. Like I get the great sci-fi violence. Uh, Aliens, right? That movie. It was the first one was like a thrill, not really a thriller. A thriller implies it was suspenseful, right? It was could they do it? What's out there? Is it going to get them? So much more a suspense more than a horror movie. Second one was an action movie, right? A whole bunch of them and a whole bunch of the Marines in a complex trying to like, Alamo style, last man standing, don't get eaten by the monster stuff, right? That was an action movie. Um, and then there was like 9 others, and they tried to get the suspense back, and they were just bad. They all felt like French not new wave. What's that director's name? He made what did the laundromat? Where it was like he was the delicatessen where he was killing people in the hotel who couldn't pay. Like the hotel owner was also the butcher. That kind of weird look to it. I don't know. It's so I sit here back to the original topic, and I watch like the clouds move through and the blue sky turn dark gray when it begins to rain, or the blue sky turns orange and then purple as the sun sets. And I sit here and I think, clichely, what a wonderful world, right? But it's it's the shit that's important, right? The TV shows aren't important. If you've got like family, family, and you guys get out in the world together, not just spending money to go to this place or that place. That's good too, I guess. Don't get me wrong. But what I liked about New York was people would get married in the park, and then they would have a barbecue there, right? Because there's grills all over the place. If they would clean off a grill, somebody would start bringing burger and fries. Mostly with Spanish people, you hear like the salsa going. I mean, that's nice about New York, right? All these people out and about. But now that here it is. Now that they've shifted what New York is, I think they're lost and are losing a lot of just the simple energy of people out in the sun together, lying in the grass. I mean, this is what you're supposed to be about. So, excuse me. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard over here. Is that it? Yeah, we're not gonna play the video. Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and she ran to the police station. And when Papa found out, he began to shout, and they started an investigation. Apparently, that song is about gayness. It was against the law. What your mama saw, it was against the law. Pretty good stuff, man. The art of being an artist. How do you do it? Do you commit to write a song every day? Isn't that fake? It's like trying to be a poet when you're not a poet. Trying to learn a guitar when you. I mean, I was always told, and I used to say this when we started this off in June. with the Daily Pod. I was always told you can mimic talent with hard work. So if someone has a natural vibe to play the piano, like right, but and he only needs to see it once, or because he has some next level thing and he could easily get it, and you had to practice it 20 times. Once you practice it 20 times, you had it just, and someone who didn't know how hard you worked at it and how hard they worked at it would still go, wow, both of those guys are of an amazing talent, equal talent, right? And that's it. So you want it? Yeah. Then hard work gets you there. Generally, but I'm also of the mindset that your hard work is being abused in this system. So does hard work get you there? Right? There are college people selling pencils. And the whole idea was that if you had a college degree, you shouldn't have any problems. And there's a lot of unemployed people. The military vets are asking me for money with these little placard signs. I don't know. I don't know. I think that America needs to resettle its priorities. But is this America? Is this what America has always been? Just perpetual conflict amongst each other? And I'm just noticing it now. I don't know. I think it's different. I think not being able to afford college, not being able to afford your doctor, not being able to uh, find a gig and a career versus these short-term jobs. I I think too much shit is out of whack. There's too many fiefdoms where people don't have enough time in their lives and don't have enough resources in their lives to get to any next level. Is a problem for America, right? So we go through phases. We'll see how long this phase lasts before somebody comes in and they're the next JFK, or not JFK, FDR, JFK, FDR, and we'll see what happens there. Until then, it is what it is. Department of Justice sues Texas over abortion right. Mandatory vaccine testing. Amy closure of breast cancer. Why does everybody have breast cancer? What is going on? Maybe that's what you should look at. What is in the environment? Huh. How about that? This may also be a short show. The school tells them to remove pride flag. I don't understand people give up. Okay, well, fine. I guess that's it. Um, wow. Yesterday we were short by, I want to say, 15 minutes. And today we've only been streaming for 30 minutes, come another few seconds. And I don't really have much else to go through. Uh, the news has been pretty standard, and we talk about all of it. So I guess today will be a slow news day. Uh, thinking about playing the guitar. But I'm also thinking about the song that I was practicing today. I kind of don't want to play that. Odd enough, I don't want to play it on stream. Um, so what happens now? Because we've got about 50 minutes, 49 minutes. And normally I don't play for time, I'll just end it, but I don't like to end two shows in a row this badly. Um, and like I said, we've talked about everything recently because we're always at the forefront. First of all, I have a question. Biden announced his new vaccine mandate that it could cover over 100 million Americans. Uh, that's all the federal workers. So it makes it sound like, but that's fine. Here's the thing. Why does he's always doing this at like 1 in the afternoon when everybody's at work? All right. The DOJ is suing Texas. This is what I mean. If you put up bad policy and then the federal government sues you, you should be out of government. Right. We shouldn't have to keep dealing with this shit. Like there's all these civil wars and nothing ever gets better in America. And I don't think many things are getting better. Yeah, boy, there's more and more 9/11 stories that begin to show up in the paper. They make me uncomfortable, uncomfortable. Um, the Robert E. Lee statue. I mean, don't pat yourself on the back. It was up there for 130 years, man. So I'm seeing these people and they're like, look at us, we're great. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, everything I'm like, it's bad. Like, it's just, it's entertainment news. Here's the problem. The problem. Uh, and I used to love following those celebrities and what they did and what they bought too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judging anybody for doing it. I'm just out of that phase of my life, right? You might still be in it, but in this environment of social ridiculousness, let's just call it. Uh, I just think it just adds more to the nonsense of the situation, right? I used to follow what celebrities did. I used to follow sports. Used to follow comic books, right? Used to follow it's the celebrities, movie stars, and musicians, right? Then I also used to follow the news. I was following a lot of stuff, and then I mean, so it was always something. It's not just Facebook. Don't you know? I'm off of Facebook for a reason, but it's 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 what keeps your attention. And as human beings, you need something. That is our sort of what's those little baby thing that's sway over the baby's stroller? Uh that's what it is, right? So you want to get away from all these, I won't call them distractions, right? But they were I wouldn't say they were a distraction when I was into it. They were interests of mine, but now I just have, I don't want to say more important interests, uh, but fewer things to follow. Like the things you follow become a burden on you, right? So now everybody has to have the latest pair of sneakers because it's a thing they follow. But and I used to be one of those kids when I was like 19, 17, 18, 19, right? When hip hop was young, hip hop was new. Now I'm like, I'm not trying to pay $200 for a pair of sneakers, right? I'm not doing it. But then I'm here now, people clean their sneakers like, and I just walk around in mine, right? So it's a different aesthetic. So how long will they be this way before they look up and go, I should be caring about other shit? Or even if they don't say that so manifestly in their head, that life takes them over and they slowly move away from it, right? Like marriage and children and new cities and new friends, and then you look up one day and you go, oh man, I used to always get the latest pair of this, and I forgot that they came out, and I missed sort of, oh man, those were the days. You know what I mean? So we all get there. So it's not, but and the more you like to process, and I love processing information. The more you like to process information, the more of these things you'll have. And I had a lot of them. Now I follow politics and some gaming news, but I haven't gamed a lot. And now I try not to follow politics. I try to pick up the guitar because the politics is making me crazy. Just because I've been following it so long. A night at 9/11 themes bar and how America turns tragedy into sales. A 9/11 themed bar. See what I mean? Why I don't think I'm going to be here on Saturday. I mean, I have to be here on Saturday. We're going to do 1,000 days of this. We have not done 1,000 days of this. Middle of June, right? All right, we're creeping into the middle of June, July, August. We're in September, right? So this is the third month. Or is that the fourth month? Do we start? Do we count a month after the start? I always have trouble with this. Okay, so we're coming into our third month, our 90-day-ish deal. But that first 2 months was like 2 shows a day for like 5 hours a day, which we might actually kick off. I was thinking about it come the new year. I don't really feel bad about all these what are you gonna call them? Let's put that there. What do you call these guys who stormed the Capitol on January 6th? I don't feel bad for them. I don't. The January 6th rioters proved the September 11th era isn't over. I don't even know how you're associating these things. You're ridiculous. This guy needs to be caught. Whoever this dude is who planted these bombs, he needs to be got. Somebody knows. Oh boy. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. Yeah. Somebody knows we can't play that content. Um, somebody knows. Planting pipe bombs. I mean, what are you teaching your sons? Seriously. Ugh. I used to follow Netflix. Don't watch Netflix much anymore. What's happening? So maybe I'll fall into Matlock, which I think I've seen all the episodes of. My whole thing is I think that we got real problems, and that's where we're at. All right, so man, there's not a lot going on in the news to talk about. Maybe we can look up art. I have grapes in the refrigerator. Do I want to go get grapes? Uh, all right. Let's look up astronomy. Thank y'all. All right. So we're gonna waste some time looking at the stars. Another interest of mine. Astronomy. Live? Really? Well, here's the thing. Excuse me. When I was a kid, they strung us out on like the stars and the Hubble telescope, the Halley's Comet, and NASA and going to the moon and Martian landers and one day get into and then all these years later, it just seems like nothing is done but like shooting satellites into space for companies. Astronomy lab. Yep. Five lives seem to help you spoil the world from home. All right, how's this? Surely there's a national National Geographic Astronomy. What is that? Science 101 the Solar System, National Geographic Society. Space 101 Dark Universe, Astronomy Space. Stars 101. Here's the thing. I think they've managed to remove a lot of the curiosity about life and push it toward selling and buying shit. Ooh, a telescope for 149 bucks. This looks nice too. This is fucking awesome. You name stuff on other planets with the hopes of going there. Mar Nectaris, Mar fecunditis, Sea of Fertility. Really, Sea of Fertility on the moon. Plinius Mar Tranquillatus, Sea of Tranquility. Sirens. Is anyone curious anymore about any of this stuff? Hey, what's up, William? Good to see you. Man, there's a lot of whirring going around. How big, I mean, I love science fiction stories and I love the idea of how big the universe is, right? Wow, that's right around the corner. Ugh. Um, yeah, get a telescope if you're not in New York because you can't see anything with a telescope in New York. Get a telescope. Uh, if you got kids, even better, get a telescope and look at stuff in the backyard, like track stuff. Watch this. It's who knows, man. People don't share. I don't want to make that. I don't want to make that declarative statement. I think, but people should share their interest, right? Versus people having other people's interests thrust upon them, and then kids go, "My dad used to make me listen, and I hated that." Da 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 da. Versus, all of it, man. If you introduce people to shit, some of it, some of it they'll like, some of it they'll hate. Wow, that sounds like a really bad crash. Because this is like the third ambulance, like the third or fourth ambulance we heard going over there. And then that's how you know it's by you, by the way. It goes, woo, and you hear it stop close. That's how you know, oh, well, this is close to us. Versus it whirring off, off into the distance. And the closer you hear that siren stop is a map of the universe. Huh. Map of the universe. This is something we have to take a look at. Wow. Huh. Okay, I see what they did there. So the background gets bigger. I want to read what this says, but I guess not. Which I get why. I mean, ugh. Wouldn't you do February, March? Yeah. American history, not American, human history and human imagination through the course through the course of all of this, from when did human people start this? I'm gonna say civilization is what, 10,000 years old? How old is civilization? is civilization? Ooh. While our ancestors have been around about 6 million years, the modern form of the modern form of humans only evolved about 200,000 years ago. All right, fine, right, okay. So if okay, fine, no, that's a separate argument. I was gonna say you could talk to somebody 100,000 years, or but once you get to 500,000, you're sort of a different animal, right? You're different. You're dinosaurs to birds, essentially. Civilization I've known is only about 6,000 years old. So civilization isn't even 6,000. Okay, and the industrialization started earnestly in the 1800s. So industrialization is 200 years old, right? Machines. They didn't so much have machines back in the I'm about to say Victorian era. That's not right. They didn't have machines back in say like the 1600s, right? They had wooden this and boats and windmills and shit, right? Then they started making like factories with trains and trolleys, right? The only metals they were making were swords. Somewhere around 17 swords, guns, and cannons, right? Houses made of stone and wood. Somewhere around the 18, they started mass producing brick and then pipe and all this shit, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. I don't even. I'm trying to think of how to look that up, and I don't know how to even phrase how to look that up. So 6,000 years. What happened 6,000 years ago? Here you go. What happened? Here we go. No, thank you. What happened 6,000 years ago? 6,000 years ago. 400 BC. Civilization develops in the Mesopotamian Fertile Crescent region around the location of modern day Iraq. Earliest supposed dates for domestication of the horse and for the domestication of chicken invention of the potter's wheel. Timeline of prehistory. What was it 7,000 years ago? About 10,000 to 7,000 years ago, humankind experienced perhaps its most important revolution. The Neolithic Revolution, as it is called, forever changed the interaction between humans and the world around us by introducing the basic ingredients that make civilization possible. Agriculture, which means we all stopped and stayed in one area and started growing stuff. And then started, I guess, better looking into the things around us, right? Like, oh, there's a cave, there's a fish. These fish come back every so often, once a year, or they fly off, or these things molt and migrate, and the horns of this animal fall off, right? So now you can know this shit because you're kind of clumped down in the place. So that was 10 to 7,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, Fertile Crescent. Let's see what let's population. Kenya undergoes technological improvement to making engage in long distance trade. 305,000 years ago. That's a little far back. 82, the small perforated seashell beads. 70,000 years. 75, Toba volcano eruption that may have contributed to human population being lowered to about 15,000 people. Toba volcano super eruption. Yeah. Here's the thing. There's a super volcano under uh Yellowstone. Yellowstone super volcano. And if it goes off, it is the end of all things. Yeesh. Trying to get a good map of how big this stupid thing is. Uh, there was a Disney movie where I think they had an animal run through Yellowstone like maybe a million years ago. Was it a dinosaur movie or an Indian movie? It might have been a, I don't know, super volcanoes. Do we even want to? The youngest Toba eruption was a supervolcano or supervolcano. A supervolcano is a large volcano that has that. Oh, a supervolcano is a large volcano that has had an eruption with volcanic explosivity index, explosivity index of 8, the largest recorded value on the index. This means the volume of deposit for such an eruption is greater than 1 cubic kilometer. Uh, e. How big is that volcano? Oh, that's not good either. Look at the clouds. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh boy. The supervolcano eruption. The youngest eruption at the present location of Lake Toba in Indonesia, 75 to 9,000 years before present. According to potassium orgone dating, the eruption was the last and largest of 4 eruptions of the Toba caldera during the Quaternary period. Whoa. Quaternary period is the current and most recent of 3 periods of Cenozoic era. Wow, my head hurts already. The International Commission of Stratigraphy. It follows the Neogene period and spans 2.588 plus or minus 0.005 million years ago. Okay. Excuse me. The highest rate of any known eruption on Earth. It's made a sizable contribution. I don't even know what this means. The Russian mass flare was at least 12 times greater than that of the largest volcanic eruption in recent history. 12 times that. In 1815, eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia, which caused 1816 year without a summer in the northern hemisphere. I do even know this story. The 1860s is known as the year without a summer because of severe climate abnormalities that caused average global temperature to decrease by zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.7 Celsius or zero point 0.7 to 1 degree Fahrenheit. Europe was the cold, summer temperatures in Europe were the coldest on record between the years of 1766 and 2000. The coldest on record. Um, Tuba eruption mass deposited an ash layer of about 15 centimeters, 5.9 inches thick, over the whole Sea of Asia. A blanket of volcanic ash was deposited over the Indian. A blanket of volcanic ash was deposited over the Indian Ocean. Wow. The Arabian Sea and the South China Sea. A blanket. The deep sea cores retrieved from the South China Sea have extended the known reach of the eruption, suggesting that 2,800 kilometers to the third. I don't even know what that means. Calculation of the Russian mass is a minimum value or even an underestimation. Based on new methods, computational act is first. It's like a smoking cigarette, just pouring grief out all over the world, uh, blocking the sun, lowering temperatures, drowning like livestock and vegetation in ash. And oh boy, could you fucking imagine? Uh, Volcanic winter and global cooling computer models. Genetic bottleneck in humans. This is what we're looking for. The youngest Toba eruption has been linked to a genetic bottleneck in human evolution about 70,000 years ago, which may have resulted in a severe reduction in the size of the total human population due to the effect of the eruption on the global climate. According to genetic bottleneck theory, 50,000 and 100,000 years ago, human population sharply decreased to 3,000 to 10,000 surviving individuals. Is supported by some genetic evidence that today's humans are descended from a very small population between 1 to 10,000 breeding pairs that existed 70,000 years ago. Wow. So my question then becomes, hold on, let me just cut this off. So there were people all over the place, and then one place, maybe it wasn't a city of 10,000 people, one giant city, but maybe there was 200 little small villages that survived this thing, and they were the 10,000. You know what I mean? Oh, that guy's nuts. That guy is freaking crazy. All right, we're gonna look that up. Uh, do we even wanna? Do we even wanna? Um, it's supported by some genetic evidence suggesting that today's humans are descended from a very small population, 1 to 10,000 breeding pairs that existed about 70,000 years ago. Proponents of the genetic bottleneck theory include Roebuck, suggests that the youngest Toba eruption resulted in a global ecological disaster, including the destruction of vegetation, along with severe drought in the tropical rainforest belt in the monsoon region, a drought in the monsoon regions. A 10-year volcanic winter triggered by the eruption could have largely destroyed the food sources of humans and caused a severe reduction in population size. These environmental changes may have generated population bottlenecks in many species, including hominids. This, in turn, may have accelerated differentiation from within smaller human population. Therefore, the genetic difference among modern humans may reflect changes within the last 70,000 years rather than gradual differentiation over hundreds of thousands of years. Oh, I did not know that. A population bottleneck or genetic bottleneck is a sharp reduction in the size of population due to an environmental event such as famine, earthquake, floods, fire, disease, and drought on human activities such as pesticides. A genetic bottleneck. All right, so a bottleneck is a drop in your population by a lot. So for the world to have a genetic bottleneck, there's a 70, there's 7, 8 billion people. You would have to drop it down precipitously, like to like 500 million people or something, some goofy shit. Yeah, that sounds like an ecological disaster to me. All and then you can track it to 70,000 years ago. Others research have cast doubt on the link between the two carbon and genetic bond. For instance, ancient stone tools in South India were found above and below a thick layer of ash from the Indus and were very similar to these layers, suggesting that the dust cloud from the eruption did not wipe out this local population. Okay. Genetic bottleneck of some evidence suggests the genetic bottleneck in other animals in the wake of the Youngest tuba eruption. The population of the eastern African chimpanzee, the Borealis orangutan, and the Indian macaw, cheetah, and tiger, cheetah, there you go, and tiger, majestic, all recovered from a very small population around 70,000 to 55,000 years ago. The separation of nuclear gene pool east lowland gorilla and western lowland gorilla have been estimated to have occurred about 77,000 years ago. So all of these are about the same time. There was a die off, and the remaining people was a small group who bred the population back, and now we all have something in common with those people. That's the bottleneck. Human migration spread of humans from Africa throughout the world. Most recent common ancestor, most recent individuals from which all organisms in the group are directly descended. In biology and genealogy, the most recent common ancestor, last common ancestor, or ancestor of a set of an organism is the most recent individual from which all the organisms of the set descend. The most recent, all right, from you all descend. So that could be a guy 500 years ago. All right, fine, I got that. Recent African origins of modern hominids, or modern humans, or hominids, out of Africa theory, early migration of humans. Okay, timeline of volcanism on Earth. Huh? Look at this. Oh, so if I click on it, it takes me there. Eruption 2010 eruption of Mount Marapa. Oh, look at how big this is, Yellowstone. The last time Yellowstone exploded was 64 billion years ago. The Yellowstone caldera, sometimes referred to as the Yellowstone supervolcano, is a volcano caldera, a caldera, a large cauldron-like hollow that formed shortly above the emptying of a magma chamber in a volcanic eruption. When large volumes of magma are erupted over a short time, structural support for the rock above the magma chamber is lost. The ground surfaces the ground surface then collapses downward into the emptying pit. Huh. That sounds horrible. All right, so this is your caldera. Huh. All right. This whole thing erupts. This whole thing sinks into. Is that right? Okay. I don't think I understand what they're talking about here, but I think it means. Uh, animation. Caldera forming underwater. When I was a boy, I used to love the idea of volcanoes, as all boys do. Just, I mean, you don't want to be around one. Don't get me wrong, but geez, I remember when I was a boy, the Mount St. Helens. Oh, we just missed it. That's fine. The Mount St. Helens eruption, and I was like, it was just amazing. The moon has an outer shell of low density. Okay, extraterrestrial calderas, non-explosive calderas. Toba, about 74,000 years, the Indonesian volcano released 200. This rock. This was the largest known eruption during the ongoing Quaternary. 2.6 million years ago, the largest known explosion eruption during the last 25 million years. That is the largest explosion in the last 25 million years. Uh, Proposed that a volcanic wind induced by this eruption, we just read that 10 years, species reduced to about 5 to 10,000 people. There's no direct evidence, however, that either theory is correct. There's no evidence of any other animal decline, or really extinction in environmentally sensitive species. There's an evidence that human habitation continued in India after the eruption. Ugh. Explosive caldera eruptions. Huh. They can't produce such eruption by. Yeah, that's none of this is good. All right. I like the. All right. Anyway, Yellowstone. Look at this. The second caldera is 1.3 million years old. The first caldera is 2.1 million years old. And the third caldera is 64,000 years old. in cubic miles. I want to know when the last time it blew. Look at this. Shallow hot water reservoir, freshwater brine, earthquake, earthquake, geyser, resurgent dome. Yeah. So it's like Hawaii. I guess the land is moving. 0.21, 6.4, 10.7, 12.8, 15 to 13 and 16. Ugh. There you go. Oh boy. It's always something. So why are we sharing this ridiculous news? So this is how big if something would happen. Like this is a lot of a hole in the country. This map is for illustrative purposes only. If the supervolcano erupts, the exact zone will depend on the wind, time of year, and other factors. Possible Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption, secondary ash zone, primary ash zone, kill zone. The kill zone is fucking ginormous. Yeah, I think, yeah, and the wind blows this way. Yeah, I think we become a solo of a country after that. And we don't care what the world thinks. We have to try and fix whatever was broken, and everything is broken. Look at this thing. Yeesh. Yellowstone mantle. Good Lord, what is up with all these? All right. Yeesh. Again, 28, 25,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 3,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Yellowstone National Park. How big it is. If that thing went off, the whole world is going to suffer. I mean, it's going to lower the temperature a bunch. And they're talking about 10 years. Yeah, all right, enough of that. Oh, we've been streaming for an hour. How long we got? 10 minutes. See how time flies when you obsess about something? Let's look at what this guy said. Yeah, I can't believe he's not dead yet. Yeah, yeah. Sounds like some. I mean, this is how he got He was a major, right? He got radicalized in the military. He looks crazy. He just looks fucking off. Yeah, death to traitors. That's all I got for you. I can't believe he's still fucking not dead yet, though. Oh, what's going on here? All right, there you go. 149 bucks for a telescope that you can affix to your phone. Oh, really? The modern man, modern what is it? Modern Marvels. Hamburger Schlimmer. Yeah, I don't know much about microscopes, not microscopes, not magnifying glasses, telescopes. But I mean, good lord, how cool would it be to join a club of people who get telescopes out and watch the? I mean, look at this picture. 4 easy tips to be a better stargazer. Look at this shit. Wouldn't you like to go out there and check? I mean, this can't be how it looks in reality, can it? Yeah. I mean, not all the time because you got to work, but occasionally get out there and see some stuff. Uh, Mars, the galaxy. Yeah. Wow. Um, it's dark. Let's start. You know what I didn't do? I didn't cut the light on back there. That's a first. Someone could have told me, but that's all right. Uh, that's because that light was on. Let's dim this and come back here. I didn't even realize it and cut this light on. Ah, huh. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Finish off this water. Remember, we will be look. We will. Today is Thursday. We will be here tomorrow, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Come on through and say hi. Uh, I don't even know what to tell you. We're going to talk about things that happen in the news, likely, but nothing happened in the news today. It was boring. And we don't talk about celebrities, who they're dating. And we don't care who got married or when they got married or who's getting divorced and when they're getting divorced. We don't care about who's pregnant or what happened. We don't care. What we care about is preparing for tomorrow because there's always some new game. 9/11 hero help wounded man. Yeah. Excuse me. I wonder how hard it would be to get back into following sports or following celebrities or following comic books and all this kind of stuff. Sweet Jesus. Um, yeah, all my news is dog accidentally gets high eating mushrooms in viral video. Oh, there's something. How do your dog know which mushrooms to eat? Was he lucky, or do dogs just know? Famous people getting divorced. All right, yep. I got nothing. Biden gave a speech. I'm sort of like, okay, uh, can't talk about the Taliban anymore. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about. I guess that wraps the show up. Uh, please come through tomorrow and say hey to us. Like and subscribe. If you like quirky entertainment, this is fairly quirky. Uh, Quirky and getting better. That is it. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Uh, let's remember, tomorrow is Friday, right? It's the launch of the weekend, right? Uh, Make sure you don't have to have a plan for it, but make sure you utilize some of your weekend. Don't just stay in the house. Go do something. Do it with a mask if you have to, but get out and get some sunshine, right? Some sunshine is better than no sunshine. Try and do something where you don't spend any cash. Don't tell anybody I told you that. Or spend a limited amount of cash, right? The idea here is to sort of just kind of decompress with the kind of year and a half we've all been having. Have a good time with whatever you do. If I don't see you this weekend, but if I do, I'll see you tomorrow, and we will prep for Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 every day. Someone's getting fired. Who's getting fired? Uh, we're here 6:30 Monday through Saturday, and 7:30 a.m. on Sunday. So come get some of that. Who's getting fired, William? Maybe we can look it up. Oh my God. Oh, for the background light, yeah. Uh, Creatures of habit. Sometimes we miss things. Uh, let's put that up on screen. Sometimes we miss things. I mean, for that light has been on every show since June, and we totally forgot. Totally forgot. Uh, we get one of those like pilot checklists going on. We'll see what happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes to 8. Go and have a good night, William. Go and enjoy your weekend. And not enjoy your weekend, but enjoy your night and prep for your weekend because it's going to be baller. Something tells me good things are going to happen. I may get back to trying to learn this song and surprise myself. All right, we will see you in the next one, and the next one is tomorrow. And tomorrow is at 6:30. So we'll see you.